haven't featured a modern Batman comic yet, so I thought it was about time. And you can't get more modern than last year. This is from 2025. Before we get into it, just another backstory of me and the Bat. As I've said before, I started collecting every issue of Batman and most issues of Detective from round about 78, 79, all the way through the 80s, all the way through the 90s. I think I started to lose interest during the whole Nightfall thing and Azrael and all that business. Yeah, it wasn't really for me. Again, this is something I'll have to look into further on in the life of this channel, is where me and Bruce sort of did that. But we did sometime in the 2000s. And I would basically just come back for event issues when I learned that, you know, a specific writer like Grant Morrison was on board. I came back for that, you know, yeah, and I'd come back for various runs. Some of them better than others. Some of I preferred. Some of them I didn't like. The Scott Snyder run, I collected that, although when we got into the whole Court of Owls thing and the whole thing that the Owls have always been in Gotham City, but they've never been mentioned before, but they've always been there watching. It's like, you know, recently we've had in Doctor Who, we find out that Sutekh didn't die in 1974, 75, 76, whenever it was. He's just been hanging on to the side of the TARDIS for 50 years. You know, and it's like, really? So yeah, I would come back and recently in the last, I don't know, 5-10 years or so, I mean, I haven't got a local comic book shop anymore. Back when I had the one at Maidstone, you know, I was going in there, you know, picking up my regular titles, you know, every fortnight or so. But yeah, my recent knowledge of Batman stories has mainly been through graphic novels and buying up collections and stuff. But this new thing, this Batman All In, or DC All In, which started last year, I wasn't aware of it, but I was aware of the artist, Georges Jimenez, if that's how you pronounce it, because I follow him on Instagram, and he kept putting up Batman images, and of course I'm drawn to them. And then I learned that he had the regular artist gig on this Batman All In, and it's like, okay, let's give it a go, because I really do like his artwork. I do like his take on Batman, and this is what we're looking at today. This is issue number 1. I think it was September last year it came out. This is a variant cover, and I think this is by Georges, and fabulous, really nifty cover. What I especially like about it is the Joker isn't at the forefront, you know, and there's some really smart designs of the villains. I like how Clayface is owing an awful lot to the Batman animated series of, like, you know, 92, 93. So yeah, let's get into it. As I say, this is a variant cover. This is the one I chose. I can't even remember where I got this from. It wasn't Forbidden Planet. I can't remember where I got it from. But anyway, this is the regular cover. And as I say, I've been out of Tales of the Fella for a long time. I wasn't aware that Commissioner Gordon is now a street cop. Okay, he's just Officer Gordon. And yeah, beautiful artwork. They're having a coffee break when over comes Killer Croc. And then we get our first look of Bats, and what a fabulous look that is. He's in mid-pursuit. He's in mid-pursuit of Killer Croc. This is Croc's doctor, who is pleading his case. She's saying that he's actually regressing mentally. He's becoming almost childlike. So yeah, Batman, I don't know, I'm guessing that the Gotham police force is corrupt again, because I know that the police commissioner is Vandal Savage. And I think this is why Bruce says, you know, if you find out anything, contact me, don't go to the police. Okay. And yeah, we'll just move forward a bit. There's Vandal Savage. He's got these very real world armed police troops who are going to go in and sort out the supervillains and eventually Batman. Batman alongside Alfred in the Batmobile. That's rather nice. And I like this relationship between Batman and Alfred. Scott Snyder did all sorts of changes to their relationship, which I really didn't care for. But and I don't know if this is a reboot or it's an alternative world thing, but from what I'm reading in this doesn't owe much to the Snyderverse, if you like. Batman's a bit brutal. You've got this gang here who are going to attack the two girls, and he actually runs them down. Yeah, as I say, really quite brutal. But at the end, he says you both need trauma or medical care, and to stay there. And she's like, "You're going to leave us alone in the park?" And it's like, "No, car, protect them," which is great. And he goes off and traces Killer Croc to the zoo, where he's eaten most of the exhibits in the zoo. And here he is. Let me pause so you can take in that fantastic shot of Killer Croc. And Batman's telling the guard to back off. You'll just make him angry. But Batman goes into it ready to have a punch up with him. He's got his electro back gauntlets, okay? And you think the fight's going to happen. But yeah, instantly you have sympathy for Killer Croc. And a really charming scene starts, because Alfred is still there and says that, you know, Killer Croc is becoming a child alone in a terrible, violent world he cannot understand, drowning in fear. It's as if you say, and no one ever really changes, Master Bruce, then surely you know how that feels. And he turns off the gauntlets, takes his mask off, and we have this really sweet scene with Bruce and Waylon talking about how big the house is, and Bruce saying, "I used to have one of those in my house," and it's really sweet, and you think it's all gonna kick off, and we're gonna have another fight, but Croc is saying his head hurts. Along comes his doctor, comes with his cuddly toy, his comforter, and basically Killer Croc says, "I want to go home now," and he goes off and parts by saying to Batman, who has hurriedly put his mask back on, "Who helped you? My head is okay, Waylon. I don't need help. If you say so," he says, and gives him his cuddly T-Rex. And that's how it ends. That's a lovely shot of Bruce. Sorry, got glare there. All in one panel, getting out the Batmobile and disrobing. And yeah, he's got a new trophy, a new T-Rex trophy, and it ends with Robin in trouble, asking, "Is there anybody on the police force that they can trust?" And that's how it ends. We got this nice advert for it. Looking forward to that. And then there's a backup story. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I'm rather confused. But we've got all these other variant covers. Some big names there, but I'm happy with the one I've got. And that's how it ends. What a fun little sweet story, with real characterization. There's real emotion in it. It's drawn brilliantly. So out of 10, 7.5. I'll give that a 7.5. Do I go 8? Yeah, I'm going to go 8. So 8 out of 10, highest scoring so far. Cover-wise, brilliant cover. I'm glad I went for this one out of all the ones you could get. But up against Jim Aparo, who's in 3rd place. No, no. It's good, but it's not Jim Apato's Batman holding Selina as they're coming out of a sewer good. So there you go. That's my first look at a modern comic. Hope you liked it, and I'll be along looking at subsequent issues at some point, but I'm going to mix it up with old ones as well. All right. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.